Today, I'm going to introduce you to Isaiah. Isaiah is the same as everyone else. He loves his family and enjoys the company of his friends. He treasures his dog, even though she can be smelly sometimes, and spends his spare time playing video games. However, what makes Isaiah unique is that he is deaf and mute. This would mean whenever he communicates with someone, he would need either his interpreter, which is sometimes a bit of a burden, and the average cost of $150 per hour isn't the nicest, or one of his hearing aids, which is either also overwhelmingly expensive or uncomfortable, and sometimes both. With all these disadvantages, Isaiah struggles with everyday tasks such as meeting new people, finding employment, and even learning. Dreams such as traveling can also become a struggle as interpreters may not be available, sign language may be different, and or devices are unavailable due to batteries, broken devices, or even an environment where hearing technologies are not suitable like water. Unfortunately, this is a common situation, more specifically for the 432 million deaf adults and 34 million deaf children, or 70 million deaf and mute individuals.
1.5 billion people globally are experiencing some type of hearing loss, and according to WHO, this number is expected to grow to 2.5 billion by 2050. Furthermore, 1.1 billion young people are at risk of permanent hearing loss from listening to loud music for a lengthy amount of time. And as a teenager, I can confirm to this. I can barely hear my mum yelling across the room. Then came 2020, a punch in the face, where people who had no difficulty with communicating now could barely communicate. For the deaf and mute community and possibly hard of hearing individuals, this was absolutely devastating since more problems began arising. For instance, masks obstructed lip reading and facial expressions, meaning social cues became impossible to interpret. People have been solely dependent on Wi-Fi for contacting, and sign language has become restrictive to read, as audio and interpretation won't sync up or even freeze and suddenly drop out of the call, potentially meaning missed crucial information. Other times there are no interpreters or other hearing devices, or the speaker's camera may be turned off, and all communication will be solely dependent on audio, again, struggling to understand as they are deaf or mute.
This could be your mother, father, sister, brother, third cousin, or even that one staff at that clothing store who keeps staring at you. Problems with communicating for the deaf and or mute community are apparent and relevant.
That is why our group, Fantasticans, Susie, Mandy, Wendy, Sophia, and myself, Sienna, are introducing HEAR4U, a translation extension or application on any screen where any languages can be translated to and from sign language, even converting sign language to another type of sign language, as sign language varies from place to place. HEAR4U functions by using the microphone function to input spoken word to be translated into sign language, or by using the camera function to identify sign language, which will then be translated to either word or another sign language. And we are aware writing words do exist. However, we believe that if we could allow two different forms of language to converse in their own familiar way, it will not only improve the flow of conversation, but also promote a sense of connection and belonging in all communities. With HEAR4U, we aim to eliminate barriers such as third parties, accessibility, most expenses, availability, mobility, and improve life overall for those who currently depend on sign language, creating more efficient and independent societies globally. HEAR4U works through visual recognition in the camera, which isn't an entirely new concept. We already see aspects of visual recognition employed in apps like TikTok and in smartphones. By collecting data from all versions of sign language, for instance, common hand gestures and words, we can use advanced algorithms to connect the puzzle pieces and the words, like Google Translate, but with visuals using the characters on the screen. Through this, a sentence in words or chosen sign language will appear.
Our target market is currently ambiguous, and this caters to the deaf and mute community, people who are conversing with the deaf and mute, or just someone who wants to confirm that their sign language is correct, and not suddenly say, I'm empty instead of I'm available. Ultimately, our market size would be around 7.9 billion people. In other words, anyone can communicate.
Now, why should you choose HEAR4U? Other than our long list of advantages, our competitors are also limited. Currently, we only have two prime competitors, the first being HandTalk, and through using and testing this application for ourselves, we immediately identified some major flaws. This app only offers one-way translations, for example, from English to sign language, but not the other way around. In addition, the app does not have a variety of sign languages available, with only American Sign Language and Brazilian Sign Language, limiting the accessibility of this app internationally. Our second and closest competitor is Gnosis by eVook and India Accelerator, an app that utilizes artificial intelligence, neural networks, and computer vision to understand the video of the sign language speaker, converting this to speech through smart algorithms. Currently, the app is being developed and is built to cater American Sign Language and afterwards Indian Sign Language, again putting a barrier between the rest of the deaf and mute community.
However, HEAR4U is different. It offers quality without major barriers and focuses on accessibility. HEAR4U is targeted towards all individuals related to sign language and the deaf and mute communities. Our service aims to prioritize obtaining unlimited languages verbally and in terms of sign, opening the market to all individuals with communicating needs. Furthermore, as we stated previously, we will be the first application which translates to and from sign language, and again, highlighting the need that conversations flow back and forth between two or more parties.
HEAR4U also aims to be cheaper than most alternatives, while still gaining profit. We will gain income from 3 places: membership, ads, and avatar icons. The cost will be no more than $5 per month, already less than our competitor Gnosis, who charges $11 per month. We also allow ads to be displayed in our product, earning sponsorship, whilst also providing a chance to forever eliminate the ads at the cost of $2.99. Avatar customization will also cost, as it is a non-essential factor, but will be encouraged to be modified, from clothes to facial features, as we want the customers to feel comfortable utilizing the app. Calculating all the costs, for the first 12 months, we expect a growth of about 5,000 downloads or higher each day, as the demand for an app like ours is extremely high. This would all equate to the minimum revenue of $109,500,000 if the growth was steady, without purchasing anything else on the HEAR4U or sponsorship money. This amount will cover all costs put towards production, which we estimate to be around $50,000 to $100,000.
Now, this is only the beginning. As numbers begin to incline, we also expect offers to be sent our way. For instance, collaborating with another product or pre-installed like Google Translate. The profit that we accumulate could grow to millions or even billions due to high demand. Another area to distribute our product are public areas like transport, shopping centers, and airports, where information stands are placed on, or perhaps in the future, people could be served through technology rather than human contact, allowing accessibility for sign users as they could easily communicate with shop assistants.
But to get this going, we also need to assess our promotional strategy. This will all begin with promotions prior to the release of the app, which will be all done through the usual ways of marketing. This includes media through ads on YouTube, websites, Instagram, and anywhere with large audiences. Another method is through sponsorships. We will pay large creators such as Sign Duo or Jessica Kelgren Fozard, who sign, which reach to their hundreds of thousands to millions of supporters. Furthermore, we plan to open a promotional event where individuals can come to our centers and try our product out, resulting in verbal recommendations, which is the most powerful way to promote our view on accessibility.
With HEAR4U, people can communicate freely without this burdening third parties, and Isaiah will finally feel understood and communicate freely. Ultimately, developing this app would mean we will eliminate most communication problems for the millions to potential billions of deaf and mute people worldwide. We aim for ease and accessibility. We aim to break down the walls of language barriers, and we aim for communication due to its significance because we're here.